My girlfriend texted from her luxury girls trip. We are extending the vacation. Said more money. I didn't reply. Then I packed her bags, left them with her mother. A week later, the girls' trip was over. I am 29 male. As a structural engineer, I live by a simple code. Foundations are everything. You calculate every stage, account for every variable, and ensure a stability before you even think about building up. For 3 years, I thought the foundation of my relationship with my girlfriend, Puppy 27, was solid rock. I see, now it was just well compacted sand waiting for a storm. I have a good career, I'm not rich, but I am financially secure. Poppy is a stylish assistant working hard to build an online brand as an influencer. I would always been proud to support her dream. I bought camera gear, editing software, and helped found the designer pieces she used to build her portfolio. I considered it an investment in her happiness, which I thought was an investment in ours. For her 27th birthday, she wanted the ultimate dream girls trip with her friends Pippa and Imogen. The resort she, friends Pippa and Imogen picked was a high-end, all-inclusive paradise. The cost for the three of them for 5 nights was just over $4,000. It was a significant amount, but I paid it without hesitation. I transferred the money directly to her account to book the trip. Seeing her ecstatic face as I dropped them at the airport, their feeling of providing joy was all every penny. The first few days were a highlighted reel on my phone. Photos of Poppy, Pippa and Imogen, cocktails in hand, living their best life. The captions were full of dream come true. And best boyfriend, I would send back a heart emoji playing my role as the supportive off-skin benefactor. On the fifth day, in the morning they were scheduled to fly home. A text landed that changed everything. Poppy here, darling, having the most amazing time. We are not ready for it to end. Pippa found a deal to upgrade our room and extend for another week. It's perfect. We are going to do it. Can you send over another 500? It will cover everything. Love you. I did it in a profound stillness spread through my chest. It was not about the 1500 lb. It was the total absence of questions. It was a demand text as a cheerful update. The sheer unblinking entitlement of it all. I did not reply. My fingers hovered over the keyboard. But a cool, logical part of my brain took over. Instead of tasking, I opened my laptop. I had a nagging feeling, a low thread I needed to uphold. A few weeks ago, Poppy mentioned a mutual acquaintance. A girl named Gemma was also going to be at the gym, same resort complex with her family. I found I found Gemma's public Instagram profile. I scrolled through her stories and there it was. A video posted 10 hours earlier, a wide shot of a crowded resort beach club. In the middle of the dancing crowd was Poppy. Her arms were wrapped around the neck of a guy named Niall. A friend she told me was Guy and just part of the professional circle. His hands were low on her waist and they were moving together in a way that left zero room for interpretation. In the background, Imagine was making out with some other guy. This wasn't girls' trip. It was a couple's retreat I had unknowingly founded. There was no explosion, no rage, just a quiet, clean snap. The foundation had failed. My job now was to manage the demolition. The first thing I did was not pack her bags. It was not open a new browser tab and they type tenant rights without Lays UK. And after 3 years of her living with me, receiving mail here for all intents and purpose calling it her home, I could not just throw her out. That would be an illegal eviction and it would be her power. My mind went into engineering mode. I needed a process. I needed documentation. I found a template for a formal notice to quiet. I filled it out carefully, citing the end of our personal relationship as the cause. I printed 3 copies, then I walked into our bedroom. For a moment, the sheer normality of it all hit me. Her perfume in the air, her half-read book on the nightstand, a wave of something hot and painful. Grief, maybe all fury, washed over me. I wanted to sweep everything onto the floor. Instead, I took a deep, shuddering breath and walked to the spare room. I pulled out her 3 large suitcases. I began to pack, not with anger, but with a chilling robotic focus. It had tasks to be completed. I folded her clothes, wrapped her shoes, and systematically cleared the bathroom of her endless collection of the bottles and jars. I felt like an ecologist acknowledging the remains of a lost civilization. I paused at her bedside table. The velvet box was there inside the custom silver lock. I designed her our second anniversary and engraving of the stars on the night we met. A one of a kind symbol of what I thought was one of a kid love. It felt like a preview now. I picked it up, its weight feeling obsessed in my hand. It took out my phone, placed the rocket on the dark wood mad dogs, and took several high-resolution photos and a short video of it from every angle. Then I closed the box and placed it carefully inside one of the suitcases. It was her properly, but the story of its creation, that was mine. I packed everything she owned, not those bags and boxes, and stuck them neatly in the spare room. Closing the door, the apartment was still full of decorative touches. The throw pillows, the art prints she would chosen. It felt like a ghost of our life together. I sat on the couch, the printed notice to quiet on the coffee table beside me, and I waited. And I waited. The storm was coming, and I was going to read it with a legal document with a lead heart. Update 1. The silence was deafening for 2 days. Then the inevitable call from the airport. Hey, we just landed. She said, her voice bright and full of vacation bliss. So exhausted. Can't wait to see you. I will give a taxi. Your tea works, puppy. I said. A voice flat devoid of my eye, anyone. But when you get here, we need to talk. The slide put on her and told me she caught the tone. Okay, is everything alright? You would be quiet. You would talk when you get her. I repeated and hung up. An hour later, her key turned in the lock. She walked in, dropping her carry-on with a sigh of relief that died in the throat when she saw my face. I was sitting on the couch. The living room dimly lit. The apartment was really tidy. Arthur, what's going on? You are scamming me. I didn't say a word. I just picked up my phone, opened the screenshot Gemma had sent me, and placed it on the coffee table in front of her. Her face went through a rapid fire series of emotions, confusing, drawing, recognition, and then a flash of pure, unaltered panic. It was there of only a second before the walls went up. The classic gaslights defense. Oh my god, then she scoffed, trying for a laugh. That's neat, I told you about him. We were all just dancing and having fun. He was seriously bent our shape of our stupid picture. He stopped being a gas till the moment his hands were on your waist. Puppy, you are being insecure. You are letting you are just ruin my welcome home because and dare to have a good time on the trip you sent me on. I let her tradition wash over me. I did not raise my voice. When she was done, I pushed the printed documents across the table toward her. What's time? She asked, her voice dripping with suspicion. It's a 30 days notice to quiet. I said calmly. Calm relationship, our relationship is over. I will pack our belongings. They are in the spare room. You have 30 days as required by law to find a new place to live and remove all of our property. The sight of the formal document, the cobalt legal language, hit her in a way my anger never could have. This was not fight one should with in tears of accusation. This was a process. You are evicting me, she whispered. The victim narrative dissolved, replaced by cold fury. Fine, I will get my things now. She stood up, heading for the spare room. Noise is standing up the block her way. You can take what you need for the next few days. The rest of your property, including the more valuable items. Your laptop, designer bags. The rocket will be available to you, and the day you move out and return, you're okay. Consider it insurance that you will back it peacefully that and one time. This this was the move. I was not illegally withholding of property. I was securing it pending the condition of residency. It was legally grey and in disinfluential strategy. It was leverage. You can't do that. She said as my stuff. My whole career is on that laptop. You are thief. I'm a man who wants that flat back without a den drama. I said my voice still level 2, though it cost me everything inside. I had a crack. My hands were shaking slightly. I do arch and stand behind my ribs. We have 30 days. Puppy, I suggest you start looking for a flat. She stared at me, her eyes full of a hatred so pure it was stunning. Then she turned, grabbed her carry-on and stormed out, slamming the door behind her. I stood there in the vibrating silence of the flat, the mass of calm finally cracking. I leaned against the wall and slid to the floor, the sheer crushing weight of the last 3 years finally hitting me. This is going to be the longest month by my wife. Update 2. Update the post 2 weeks have been a master race class in psychological warfare, publicizing through every traffic in the manipulator's handbook. And I'm documenting everything like it's a project report. Page 1, the sympathy play. For the first few days, I got a serious tearful text and voicemails. How could I do this to her? She made a silly mistake. She was me begged, drunk, solemnly. She was sorry. She begged me to just talk about this like adults. I never replied. Phase 2, the legal stage. When tests didn't work, the tone shifted. She texted that she would have spoken to a solicitor. I doubt it, and that I was illegally holding her property hostage. She demanded immediate access to all her things. I replied with a single formal email stating the terms. All property would be released upon her getting the permission on or before the date specified in the notice. I attached a photo of the notice she had left on the table. Page 3. Harassment via proxy. Her friends Pippa and Imogen started into exist, calling me a contouring, abusive monster, big post on her there. Instagram stories about toxic men who punish strong women. Puppy posted a teary selfie without a caption about surviving betrayal and learning to stand on my own 2 feet. It was all a performance for an audience I did not care about. A real escalation happened last Tuesday. I got a call from my mom. Her breast was tight with a confused audio about immediately set my teeth on edge. Arthur darling, I just had the most disturbing call from Poppy's mother, Floriana. My blood went cool. What did she say? Mom. Oh, it was a whole performance. Oh, my mom said her breast lay skin with skepticism. Thank God for her good sense. She said you had some punch sort of breakdown that you threw Poppy out with nothing but the clothes on her back. She claimed Poppy had loaned in a significant amount of money, and you were refusing to pay her back. She kept asking if you were okay and hinted that you had been unstable since your father passed. She was trying to paint you as unkind and me as a negligent mother. This was a new law. Poppy could not break me, so she armed her mother with a pack of vicious lies and aimed her at time. She weaponized my father's days. She strategic detached a part of my brain clicked into a higher near. The goal was no longer just to get her out. The goal was to ensure the truth came out so clearly and deceptively that she could never twist the narrative again. Yesterday, Poppy showed up with her mother. Fiona stood behind her, looking straight-out and protective. Poppy demanded her laptop, claiming a major work project was due. It was a lie, a power play, Poppy. The terms are clear. I stepped through the door, refusing to open it more than a crack. Arthur, this is absurd. Fiona said, stepping forward, give my daughter her things. She didn't know how you were holding her financially hostage after she was kind enough to lend your money. I just looked at Fiona, a woman I would had dinner with a dozen times. You should be careful about the stories you chose to believe. Fiona, I said, then I closed the door. This is not a clean fight, it's miserable. Draining siege, I would be sleeping on the couch because I can't stand being in the bedroom. I live in coffee and in the grim satisfaction of knowing and exploring the process of the latter. Every interaction is logged, every text is saved. 10 more days, the foundation is gone. I'm just waiting to clear the rubble of an update. The 13th day arrived like a frail herring. The month was hell. A cold war fought in 900. Fort flat I barely recognized anymore, but I stuck on the plan. I documented everything. The move out was as done as a bomb special disposal. Poppy for her had a quite wily looking man. To help her, I had a friend, Graham, cover over to act as a mature third party witness. I had a printed inventor of all her packed belongings. As Poppy and her dad made trips to hide, had a ban. I stood by silent and observed. I did not look at my aunts. When the last box was out, I presented her with the inventory sheet and a pen. They documented, confirming you have to receive all of your personal property as listed. I said, please sign it. I will need a K black. She showed me the look of pure venom, but signed the paper. Graham signed as a witness. She slapped the K on the counter. The transaction was still and final. She walked out of my life and locked the door behind her. The silence she left was the most peaceful sound I would ever heard. For 2 weeks, I did nothing. I deep cleaned up the flat, rearranged the future furniture, and cleaned my space. Started sleeping in my bed again. The anger and pain began to recede, leaving behind a sort of burst quiet. Then I executed the final phase of my plan. I launched the professional design portfolio website I would been building for myself. I sent a piece was a blog post titled "The Polaris Locket: A Study in Sentimental Design and Fabricate Narratives." Used the high resolution photos and the video I took of the locket. The post was my story told through the lens of my craft. I wrote about the inspiration, capturing a moment of pure task. I detailed the design process, the choices of materialism, the collaboration with the artisan. My posted my original sketches and 3D drawings. It was a beauty, compelling story about creating a symbol of unwavering loyalty. Then the conclusion involved mean to have. This locket was designed to be North Star, flourish, a fixed point of truth. It was thinking for me of a shared, honest truth. It was since come to my attention that the narrative it was intended to represent was a work of fiction. The tragedy symbolized was leveraged to fund a deception. Therefore, the piece in the original context is meaningless. Art, however, can be reclaimed. The story can be rewritten. I am happy to confirm that the prize rocket was safely returned to these recipients as part of a formal separation of property. And the story is now has to tell. My smile as the designer to one of the moving and a reminder that the most beautiful designs are meaningless without a foundation of integrity. My next project will be study in the silence. I shared the link on my LinkedIn in my professional design. I tagged the Harrison artisan who having heard a synthesized version of the backup from Poppy was fascinated by my side of the story and shared it commenting. An artist works always has a story. This one is powerful. The fallout was quiet but absolute. I did not have to call Puppy a liar to cheater. My post was calm, professional, and classy. It was also undeniable, devastatingly specific. By no challenged any calm that I was a thief. I simply told the truth about my part. Puppy's social media world, this which is smaller than she beaten saw it. Her exposed about Toxi's ex now looked foolish and dishonest. The story of Head of Graham, who was his friend at that and cycle is that guy Nile wanted nothing to do with her drama, especially when he realized she had no money or her own. A friendship with Papa and Imagine fractured completely under the weight of the credit and debt they had cleared up for the extended trip, a bill they had all expected me to pay. I did get a few did not comments calling my post passive aggressive. I don't care. They were drowned out by message of support. It was not a perfect clean victory. A public move like that, the never is it felt it is quite now. But it's necessary. Life isn't quite now. It's not happy ever after. There's a scare. A new layer of psychology I carry with me. The acknowledge that was seen as a walking, where it is bitter pill, but the flat is finally mine again. The other girl, I found myself sketching at the kitchen table, designing something new, not a locket, a breeze, something built to. With stated stage, with deep foundation and an honest design, it start.